Hi, this is Serendipity Consulting, consisting of Matthew, Katie, Brennan, Alex, me, Allie, and Andrea. Serendipity's consulting client company is Sugar High, a cannabis bakery founded in San Jose in 2017. Sugar High was founded by three health-conscious friends with a mission to make healthy, delicious, edible marijuana treats accessible to the entire community. They deliver premium cannabis-infused baked goods that cater to anyone's specific dietary needs. Now we are going to focus on the 5-year regional expansion plan that we implemented for Sugar High. In order to begin our expansion, in year 1, we began by selling our cannabis-baked products to dispensaries in the nearby area of the first location of Sugar High. As you can see on the slide, those are 3 locations that we worked with alongside many other dispensaries in the San Jose area. Along with this, we also implemented cannabis baking classes at our first location and did a trial run. Implementing this baking class allowed for interactions between the workers and clients, and it helped us gain more popularity in the surrounding area. A few dispensaries in the surrounding area already have cooking classes in place with cannabis, but they are geared towards dinner, such as, for example, San Jose Medical Cannabis Dispensary Elemental Wellness. On the other hand, Sugar High will be implementing one based on cannabis-baked goods. This money helped begin the regional expansion. For the regional expansion, all the locations we chose are near a lively street in the nearby neighborhood. They have easy access to the main freeways, streets, and a decent parking lot, making these locations ideal for pickups and deliveries around the surrounding neighborhood. For our 5-year plan, we began by spreading down the California coast. By expanding Sugar High in California, it allowed for smooth transition with the familiarity with cannabis regulations. Here, as you can see on the slide, are the 10 locations we implemented. In year 2, we began by implementing a second location. This location is only 20 minutes from our original location, which is very beneficial because it'll help allow the surrounding area of San Jose to hear about it and will also be beneficial with working with the first location. We also opened a third location, which is also in the San Jose area. This location was ideal because it was right off the freeway, so people passing by can stop by for a quick and easy treat. As you can see on the slide, in year 3, we opened location 4. Location 4 is in Palo Alto, and it's a midway point between San Jose and San Francisco. This location was ideal because it allowed us to begin expanding into the San Francisco area. It is also near Stanford and other college areas, bringing in a large traction of people. In year 3, we also implemented Location 5. Location 5 is in the heart of San Francisco, in a very busy area with many attractions nearby. Location 6 is also in San Francisco, but it is in a less busy area and only 20 minutes from Location 5. As you can see on the slide, Location 7 is in Oakland. This location is heavily trafficked and right in the heart of downtown Oakland. In year 4, we opened Location 8. Location 8 was in Sacramento, and it was near California State University, Sacramento, which also will bring in a large college traction and other dispensaries, making it an ideal location. After hitting many of the most populated places in the Bay Area, we began moving down further the coast of California. In year 5, we opened Location 9 in Santa Cruz. It's right near UCSC, which also brings in a large college attraction, and in downtown Santa Cruz. Location 10 is in San Luis Obispo, and this location is a midpoint between Santa Barbara and the future expansion places that we want to implement down the California coast. Here we will be discussing the organizational chart and structure. So there's corporate and above, that's the head of everything, then the executive director, which overlooks the districts. So it overlooks 4 districts currently that we have implemented over the past 5 years. The executive director makes sure that all 4 of these districts follow certain guidelines that have to be all implemented across all of the stores. And so the 4 overarching managers for each district. There are 4 district managers currently, and that's based on the locations we have as of right now. So the San Jose and Santa Cruz district managers overlook locations 1, 2, 3, and 9. And the San Francisco and Oakland manager overlooks locations 4, 5, 6, and 7. The Sacramento district manager overlooks locations 8, but in the future we plan on adding more locations in Sacramento. And the district manager currently for the San Luis Obispo overlooks location 10. But we also plan on adding more locations in that area in the near future. So falling below that are the stores that we were placed into these districts based on their locations and are based on differences in environment. So there's also an overarching store manager for each location that we have, where each location also has 4 VPs. So these VPs are production, finance and budget, transportation, and legality and cannabis. And the VP for legality and cannabis is really important because we are working with a cannabis bakery. So we want to make sure that we follow all the rules and regulations that are in each district that we have locations at. So as you can see on the slide, for each VP, there are also managers that fall under their power, which you can see in the image above. And those managers are also at every single location that we have. So here on the slide is the 50 locations organizational chart. So as we keep on expanding Sugar High, the new stores will fall under, they can also fall under current districts that we have, or we will have to be adding more districts along. For example, if we add more districts to California, we'll probably be adding San Diego, LA, Orange County. And once we start to open up in other states, we'll have to have more executive managers for each state that we open up to make sure that we follow all the rules and regulations. So Sugar High's culture. Sugar High aims at having a very positive company culture, and it values every single one of their employees. We support involvement and provide fun and positive ways for people to interact. This type of culture is creative and collaborative, and we want our employees to work together. Our leadership style does focus on building a relationship, but also enforcing the rules to make Sugar High is consistent with its operations and products. We are effective through our high-quality products that are standardized and implemented throughout all of our stores. At Sugar High, we want to create an environment of health-conscious friends who want to create and promote a brand for cannabis-infused baked goods that fill all of their dietary needs.
Hi, my name is Brennan Harris, and I am a selection specialist at Sugar High Bakery. Today, I'm going to explain the process we go through when selecting and hiring applicants for our manager positions at multiple locations throughout California. At Sugar High, we are looking for managers that have the ability to work effectively and divide work to motivate employees best. They must be proactive in setting goals and express creativity in marketing strategies. Other characteristics include being personable and charismatic with strong communication skills to interact with vendors and other Sugar High locations. They should also show attention to detail and organization. In order to find individuals that fit this criteria best, we are going to use a multiple hurdles approach of predictors. The first will be a simple application and resume. All applicants will be reviewed, and those that fit the basic requirements, such as a strong background with good references on punctuality and their work ethic. They also must be able to work in the US and meet the minimum age requirement of 21. Those that move on to the next will be given a mechanical aptitude test, directly tests the applicant's skills concerning baking and proper cannabis infusion, and their knowledge of the marijuana market and how to promote company efficiency. Through knowledge and the job roles is needed in order to treat all the bakers. Situational judgment tests will be conducted next. These allow direct observation of how the applicant might act or respond in hypothetical job situations. For managers, it is important to know how they will handle stress, pressure, and emotion. The next hurdle is their integrity test. This can assess how honest the applicant is in their situational judgment test, and if this is reflective of their personality in non-hypothetical situations. The last step in our application process is the interview. This is going to be a structured and formal interview in order to standardize the processing when selecting our manager between all of Sugar High franchises.
Okay, next, after we have selected candidates and hired new employees, we need to consider accountability for the employees after they are hired. To improve accountability in general and efficiency of the stores, we will utilize several performance management systems. These systems are mechanisms that are developed to track and monitor the performances of employees and managers. And here we will focus on managers in particular and how these systems can be used to improve the processes, training, organization, etc. of each store location. These performance management systems are intended to positively affect performance so that employees and managers alike are moving towards the strategic goals of the business. And these systems can take many different forms and approaches, as we will see momentarily, as well as different timeframes for applications such as monthly, quarterly, bi-yearly, or annually. So here we have the 4 performance management systems that will be prominently used by our existing as well as future locations. The first is a simple administering of manager review surveys to employees. This will provide constant feedback to managers at each store, which helps maintain a direct and honest dialogue through anonymity of the surveys. And this feedback will help alleviate potential frustrations or worries that employees have, and it will show managers where their skills may be lacking, as well as providing upper management with insight into how each store is operating independently. Surveys such as these may be most effective to be utilized monthly or perhaps quarterly. And then second, we have the system of self-reporting assessments by the managers, in which the results from each assessment will be combined with the review surveys previously mentioned, and this will create a more complete idea of the operations of each store. These assessments will allow managers to corroborate or contradict the reports from the surveys, which will give upper management a clear perspective, as both the managers and employees will be held accountable to the reports by each other. This system would be most effective if assessed quarterly. Now, the third performance management system is a more fiscal mechanism in the form of profit goals. By generating observable objectives when it relates to profit at each store, having goals that can be tracked and monitored over time will be essential to understanding what business practices or products may be working or which ones may not be working. Similar to the other 2 systems above, profit goals will be a system that is relative to the particular quarter. And then finally, we have past performance comparisons, which are a system where the performance of managers, their employees, and ultimately the store as a whole will be recorded and compared to performances of the past. This will likely be a bi-yearly or annual performance management system, unlike the other 3 systems, which are more specific and require more constant feedback. If comparisons of past performances are by the year, that makes it easier to compare corresponding quarters to each other, like Q1 of 2019 to Q1 of 2020. Rather than Q1 of 2020 to Q2 of 2020, quarter to quarter, as different times of the year have different popularities for certain industries, which may affect the particular industry that we are in.
Thank you, Alex. Moving on to our psychological health component, managers are responsible for increasing positivity and decreasing work stress in the workplace. This will be done by selecting a star employee every 2 weeks, whose name and picture will be displayed on a board in which other employees can write kind comments on. This incentive provides employees with recognition for exemplary work ethic. Managers will also host team gatherings every 3 months, such as movie nights, potlucks and beach days, and holiday events like an ugly sweater competition. The purpose is to create trusting relationships between managers and employees that improves communication and teamwork to combat social stressors. And overall, employees will be happy to be a part of a positive, communal, and fun work environment. But decreasing work stress goes beyond just a mediocre team barbecue. It is also evident in our scheduling design. Serendipity is well aware that work scheduling acts as one of the 8 work stressors. Outside of Sugar High, our employees may be parents, college students, or employees at other jobs. This is why we fabricated shifts that cater to various lifestyles. As you can see, managers and greeters have morning shifts and afternoon shifts. The morning shifts, including the baker shifts, are ideal for parents because these times fall within typical daycare and school care hours so that they can drop off and pick up their kids comfortably. It is also helpful for those who are taking night classes who have other night shifts, such as at restaurants. And afternoon shifts benefit college students who have morning classes, for example. And this design is very straightforward and very simple. For example, if greeters or managers need to switch shifts for whatever reason, they can easily say, hey, I can take your morning shift if you take my afternoon shift. It is straightforward and easy to understand. It's easy to work around. As you can also see for managers, they have flexible start times and flexible stop times. Managers have many tasks that they need to complete, so if they cannot complete it during their core times, they are allowed more time to be able to complete tasks as needed, and this combats task-related stressors. Employees at Sugar High are given the advantage of the Family and Medical Leave Act, as well as a provided basic health care plan. They are also benefited by discounts from nearby daycare centers or cafes. And although Sugar High does produce and sell cannabis-infused products, there is a zero tolerance for drug use in the workplace to ensure safety and well-being. And now moving on to motivational theory.
Hi, my name is Katie Krasinski, and I'm going to talk about the motivation theory at Sugar High. So we chose to do a goal-setting motivation theory because this allows for everybody within the company to have attainable yet challenging goals. So we'll create personalized performance and learning goals for every position in the company. For example, there will be individual sales goals on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis for our entry-level employees that are on the floor working with customers. And then there will also be learning goals for the managers of different Sugar High locations to grow their knowledge of leadership strategies and the cannabis industry as it applies to them. And all of these goals will be evaluated and tracked privately to promote improvement rather than competition on the individual level. And this also goes into the next point about providing constructive feedback to both the managers and the entry-level employees from their higher-ups to also help them grow. And then to ensure that we still have a cohesive work environment and a team dynamic, there will be team sales goals at each location as well. For the leadership approach, we chose the servant leadership style. And the main aspects of this leadership style are that the team is more important than the individual, meaning that the well-being of the company or organization or the team working under a manager is more important than how the manager himself is doing or their mobility in their own career. And this helps to promote a friendly, welcoming work environment where everybody is valued. And it also puts an emphasis on customer service because, again, it's not about the individual or moving ahead in one's own career. It's really about the whole team. And it also creates dedicated and confident employees because they know that they're supported by their leaders and they're able to learn and grow in this environment. A final characteristic of the leadership approach in the servant style is that there's a high commitment to the community in which your business is. And this is really important for Sugar High because it allows the company to really stay committed to their mission statement, which is very consumer oriented. And this is important, especially as we expand and grow into new locations and new communities.
My name is Matthew Chafee, and I'll be talking about 5 to 10 years by building off of the previously mentioned 5-year plan. So with that, let's get into the next 5 to 10 years. So firstly, Sugar High will continue to move into larger cities with a bigger demand for cannabis and its cannabis markets. Sugar High will allocate funds to move to Santa Barbara and Humboldt, and by doing so, they will partner with prestigious farms there, such as the Raw Garden Farm. By partnering with farms in Santa Barbara and Humboldt, Sugar High will be able to basically control part of the supply chain by having its own product, controlling the prices, and having products be more competitive by being at a lower price for consumers. Sugar High in the next 10 years will also allocate funds to move more locations to San Diego and San Francisco. After partnering with prestigious farms and moving more locations to San Diego and San Francisco, Sugar High will work to collaborate with companies located in these respective areas, such as 710 Labs or LA Kush. In the next 10 years, Sugar High will go public as a company through an IPO or an initial public offering. Using the funds generated in the initial public offering, Sugar High is going to expand to Boulder, Colorado, Boston, Massachusetts, Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, Washington, and have a minimum of 1 to 5 locations in each of these areas. Sugar High also will spread throughout the United States by officially becoming a franchise business through the FDD with a Federal Trade Commission. After becoming a franchise business with the Franchise Disclosed Agreement through the Federal Trade Commission, Sugar High will set a franchise fee for people who want to franchise their own Sugar High location anywhere in the United States, and a royalty percentage for the purchaser. Sugar High will also set a term of the franchise agreement for 2 to 5 years and the type of training for those who purchase a franchise. Training with the Sugar High franchise will basically be what was presented in earlier presentations regarding how Sugar High motivates the employees, how leaders are supposed to work, basically all the rules and how Sugar High operates. The purchaser will also have to sign a non-disclosure agreement so that this general training manual cannot be given to anybody else in the cannabis market. Sugar High in the next 10 years will also create marketing plans for all of the franchises and franchisees as well. Thank you very much.